My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of The Equalizer 3. And if you've been keeping up to date with my videos, you'd know that I'm not a fan of this franchise. I think the first movie starts off strong, but loses focus and just ends up being generic. And the second movie is really boring up until a great last act. So I had zero excitement for this movie, but I'll always tell you how it is, and I was legitimately surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie, and it's easily the best of the franchise. It is the one with the most focused storytelling, it's the one with the most emotion, and it's the one I can see myself going back to the most. But let's begin talking about the cast, and Denzel Washington carries this movie so incredibly well. He's just got it. He's got screen presence, he commands every moment he's in frame. The guy is just one of the best. And it's nice to see him reunite with Dakota Fanning. And I can't think of the last movie I saw her in. Was it Breaking Dawn? Has she been in much since? My goodness, it's been a while, but I think she was a great child actress. I think she was great in War of the Worlds, and I will die on that hill. She acted like any kid would have in a life or death situation. She's also great in Coraline, and I think she does a good job here. I've heard some people say she's miscast, but I think that's kind of the point, that she's a bit out of her element, and she does a fine enough job. You've also got Roy here from The Office, David Denham, and he's fine. I just wanted to bring him up. Guy Scodolo, I thought was pretty good in this movie. She plays a potential love interest for Robert. And then you've got Remo Giroun, who plays a guy who helps Robert out, and I thought he legitimately gave a great, authentic performance. So the cast does a really good job, and I just love some of the writing here. Like, the small moments can be memorable just based on the performances and the dialogue. Really good work there. The action is really brutal and really great, but I feel like you should know this ahead of time. There's maybe only action in like 5%, 10% of the movie at most. It's not heavy on action. It doesn't even really build to this great big climax. It's a lot more thematically driven, and I was okay with that because it kind of really worked for me. It focuses on the good deeds of our main character and how he helps others, and how that can inspire those around him, and how evil will try to get in the way, but in the end, good wins. Spoiler alert, I guess. But no, I really do like how that was all handled, and I also feel like this movie touched on the importance of community and trying to find peace. And I got a lot from this movie at a thematic level, and I wasn't expecting that. And what I also especially wasn't expecting is how much the last 10 minutes of this movie worked for me. It's surprisingly emotional, and not just that, but moving. Like, it makes me want to be a better person, and I found it was very uplifting, and it just feels like a triumph that the good in mankind will always win over, and I really felt that here. And I just wasn't expecting to get a bit teary-eyed at the end of The Equalizer 3. I also love the setting of this town. I'm going to mispronounce it. Sicily? In Italy? Anyways, it looked gorgeous. It was brought to life so perfectly, and this movie is very well shot, and I loved the score by Marcelo Zavas. It just added a little extra whenever it appeared, especially in the action moments. I thought it was Daniel Pemberton, but it wasn't. It was Marcelo Zavas, but yeah, like the music here quite a bit. So there's a lot of good in this movie. Now, even though this is the shortest of the three, I still feel like you could have trimmed out a bit 10 minutes, tighten it up a bit. I think the movie can be slow in parts, and I do wish we got a bit more action. What we got was great and like graphic, not going to lie, and I'm just like, yes, give me more of that. But it's better to leave the audience wanting more than getting a movie like John Wick 4 where you're like, enough, stop, it's enough, stop. So I guess I don't know, I feel like there's a fine line between those two extremes, but still. Uh I also felt like the villains were pretty generic, which is fine. That's to be expected with a movie like this. And the CIA plot, by the end, I understand why it was in this movie, but for so much of it, I'm just like, what is this all building towards? And it might not pay off for everyone. It does enough for me, but the world there was a bit bumpy. But yeah, I'm pretty positive on this movie. I wasn't expecting that. It's so weird. Like, I was excited for Mission Impossible at the beginning of this year, and yet it's probably out of the four big action movies this year, it's probably my least favorite, and this would be number two, just behind Extraction 2. Like, I really dug this movie. I thought it was very thematically rich. I thought it had great performances. I thought it was very well directed by Antoine Fuqua. Honestly, maybe his second best movie, just behind Training Day. I'm trying to think of what else he's made, but definitely some of his most impressive work here. I thought the movie was honestly uplifting and inspiring in the best of ways, and it's not perfect, it's flawed, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to go ahead and give The Equalizer 3 a 6.5 out of 10. That could go up, but just to play it safe, I'll keep it at a 6.5. But Equalizer 3, what did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin, out.